So welcome to this video. This video is going to be focused on finding the impedance values of different components. As we can see here, we have a resistor, a capacitor, and then an inductor. So to find all these values, let's just go and write out our equations. So if we want to find Z of R, so Z R is just going to be the resistor value at an angle 0. Okay. Z C is going to be equal to, I like to do negative J over omega C. Then Z of L will be J omega L. All right. So what this is we can just write all these out. So something important to note is J, like we said, is going to be 90 degrees. Negative J, negative 90 degrees. This comes from this concept up here, the Y, X. And from the previous video, how we talked about one leads and one lags the other. From right here, how we're looking for the voltage. So we have a positive voltage. I'm sorry, we have the positive voltage that's leading the current. So we have positive 90. And then we have the current is lagging. I'm sorry, the voltage is lagging the current. So that's a negative 90. Same deal down here. So these J and negative J are what those come into play. So you can effectively say 1 over omega C, negative 90 degrees, omega L at 90 degrees. Okay. But let's go ahead and start writing these out. So for R, just the resistance value, Z of R is just going to be 15 ohms at an angle 0. It's the easiest ones to find the impedance for. Let's look at the capacitor impedance. So we have, like we said, negative J over omega C. So we'll just do negative J omega is 1,000 radians a second. The capacitance value is 20 microfarads. So when we type all that out, we will get negative J 50, which is the same thing as saying 50 at an angle negative 90. That's the impedance of C. All right, let's look at the inductor. So once again, we'll have 1,000 radians a second. The inductance value we have is 80 microhenries, and then drop that J in there as well. So when we do that, we'll get J 80. Oh, I forgot to drop the unit in here, but this is ohms, which is the same thing as saying, so J80 is the same thing as saying 80 at an angle of 90. And unit is ohms. Z of L. All right, so they're pretty straightforward when it comes to finding those values. we'll get a little bit more practice real quick. Just another one. And notice that the omega is the same for both the inductor and the capacitor. It's going to be the same for both situations. There and there. Just comes from there. So you can try this one if you want. But notice we have our omega there. So Z of R is going to be 200 angle 0 ohms. Omega impedance C is going to be negative J over omega C, which is just negative J omega 250 radians a second. You always want to be working in radians per second. And then 5 microfarads for the capacitor. What will that give us? This will give us negative J 800, which is the same thing as saying 800 at angle negative 90. Don't forget that unit. Omega C. Then finally, let's look at the inductor. J omega L. So J omega 250 radians a second. L here is going to be 8 henries. This will be J 2000, which is the same thing as saying 2000 at angle positive 90. Unit is ohms. All right. So it's just real quick calculations. They don't take that long. But like we said, just key things to note. And you'll see I'll stress this a lot over the course of these videos. J is equal to 90 degrees. Negative J is equal to negative 90 degrees. These J values are very important to us. Okay. So, well, I'll see you in the next video for the next set of problems.